Today we're going to cover how to light a charcoal fire. And as you can see, I'm out here. I have my Kingsford charcoal, some of the best. I highly recommend using good quality charcoal. Don't use cheap charcoal. Resist that temptation. Also, you will notice that we have some lighter fluid, Kingsford lighter fluid. So what are we going to do with this? This is what we're going to do. Get rid of that. You don't want to use that Kingsford or any kind of lighter fluid. We got a much better way. We're going to use a chimney starter. This is a great tool. I highly recommend you getting one of these. You do not need any charcoal lighter fluid, but simply this chimney starter is excellent. I'm going to show you how to use that today. As you can see, it's simply a large container. It has holes in it for ventilation. This one is made by Weber. It's an excellent product. You can find these at Home Depot. You can find them at other places like Lowe's, garden centers, things of that nature. This is where you're going to find these. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to put a starting material under here. You can see I have some newspaper in my hand. You can use a tea light, something to get these things lit. I always use newspaper. I have some available. It's free and it's disposable. So that's what I like to use. Let me show you how to do this. Okay, I changed up the position of the camera a little bit so you can get a good look at this. I'm essentially just wadding these up, making them into a little tube, sticking them down in here. Nothing too impressive, nothing special or magical about this, but you want to at least roll these up a little bit like this. I just take a sheet and kind of make it somewhat of a tube here. You can see this. Nothing complicated, nothing fancy. I make it into a ring and I just stuff it down in here. I like to use quite a bit. Like I said, this stuff is disposable. It's easy to get more and I don't want it to run out. The more of this you use, the faster your charcoal will light. I just position that in here like so. And here, take a look. You can see what that looks like. I like to leave a little bit of opening here. You can see there's a little bit of daylight on the other side there, and that just helps the fire get up to the coals all the better. Okay, so we got that. You'll notice it stays put. I'm placing this on an old grill. You want to place it someplace, maybe the driveway, concrete surface, something to where obviously there's going to be heat underneath here. You don't want to place this on something plastic, something that can't handle the heat. You don't want to catch something on fire or destroy something. So that would be bad. Next step, I'm going to pour our charcoal into the chimney. Today I'm using a whole chimney of charcoal, and the reason I'm doing that is because I'm going to be smoking a couple pork loins, and that's going to take a while. Not smoking, excuse me, I'm going to be grilling a couple pork loins, and that's going to take a while. So next step, I want to show you guys this. Let me zoom out and come over here. I'm not going to go into the whole process of grilling today, but mainly just focus on getting the fire started. See this here? This is charcoal, clearly, that is already in the grill. This is a Weber kettle grill. It's a great grill. I highly recommend it. But there's already charcoal in here. The temptation is to use this old charcoal. I'm going to avoid that temptation. I only want to use fresh charcoal because charcoal absorbs odors. It absorbs moisture, and it's just not worth ruining a good meal by trying to reuse your charcoal. So get rid of that. That's what I'm going to do next, and then I'm going to start this chimney. All right, you can see we got that cleaned out. Now it's time to light up this chimney. So let me swing over here, zoom in just a smidge. And you can see what happens next. I like to use this guy here. This is a big, simple candle lighter. It's nice and handy. Just lift this up. Let me see if you can see this. I just basically want to get underneath here and just start lighting this paper up. They want to light it on a couple different sides, but you should see it now starting to smoke. Okay, that guy is lit. We sit it down, make sure it gets plenty of ventilation, and wait for the fire to come up. Show you here. You want to wait for the fire to start appearing at the top of these coals. We'll come back. Give this maybe 10-15 minutes. You want to give yourself enough time so that when this thing starts up, you got enough time to actually be able to cook and enjoy your meal in a reasonable amount of time. So for the meantime, we're just going to watch it smoke and wait for the fire to show. As this gets going, you will notice underneath here, let me zoom in just a little bit, you'll see the fire underneath, and all those ashes and that debris is just going to fall through that grate into the pan underneath. That's exactly what I want. I'm going to move my other bag here of the rest of the charcoal out of the way. One thing you'll notice, there is a lot of smoke coming out of this. This is billowing up. It's creating quite the cloud of smoke. This can either make enemies or friends of your neighbors, depending on if you share what you're cooking. So again, we wait. You see the flames down here at the bottom. But what we don't want is just the paper being on fire. We want to light our charcoal on fire. So we wait until the charcoal is burning, and you will see that coming from off the top. Instead of that smoke, you will see charcoal burning. So you'll just see the fire coming up. And for me, that's when I'm ready to cook. Some people like to wait until the charcoal turns white on top. Personally, I don't see the need for that. Once it gets hot, come over here, you grab this nice big handle, like so. You can lift this up. There's a heat shield here. This should help keep you from burning your hand. This part does not get hot. That's one of the good things about Weber products. They make them with the user in mind. This does not get hot, so you will be able to pick this up even when there's fire coming out of the top of this, and it still won't burn you. One of the things that I really like about this setup. Again, we got to give this some time, and soon you will see fire coming out of the top. We'll be ready to put that in the grill. We'll be ready to cook. Okay, about 10 minutes has passed by, and I'm going to try and get in here. You can see there's some fire coming up over the top of this. The charcoals are starting to turn a little bit white. And get in here, and this is ready to go. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to put it right in there where it belongs. Let me see how to position this camera here. This should work. Let's see. Now notice how I can grab a hold of this without being a problem. And it is orange hot in here. Let me see if I can tilt it just a little bit so the camera can see serious fire going on. Just walk over here like this and pour it in. Now what you want to do is you want to pour it. You don't want to get over top of it because there's a lot of heat coming out of this. Take another look. Just pour it in like so. All right, just like that. Now you got a fire that is plenty hot, pretty much ready to go. You see some charcoal, or some ash rather, sort of floating about here, and some of that's going to blow off in just a little bit. So now we simply put the top grate on and then the lid, and soon we will be ready to cook. You want to make sure it's not actually flaming, by the way. When you put your meat on, you want to have the heat, the radiant heat from the coals, but you don't want to have direct flames. Otherwise, you could burn your meat, and you don't want to do that. Thanks for watching.